one.
Boom, we are live. Welcome to Friday and welcome to the Marketing Qualified Rundown. I am Champion Nick today with, of course, Miss Swedish Fish. How you doing today?
Always. I'm still like every week. I'm like, should I change up my name and get a little creative like you? But
Nah, we need some consistency.
that is important.
Important. All
Yes.
right, we have two exciting topics to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
One, internal champions, which we
Mm-hmm.
have talked about a little bit in the past, but it's always good refresher to talk about champions.
Yes.
And I also thought this was a really interesting, this was a follow-up research report about content and why people watch certain things, specifically on YouTube. We obviously are big advocates of video, so should be good.
Yes.
All right, so let's get into it. So what internal champions? I mean, what the hell does that even mean?
I think this is actually a very underestimated topic in general for marketing. So it's really what it sounds like. People on your team are actually champion and advocating for you, your business, your solution, your team as a whole.
I think sometimes people think internal champions is it has to be sales marketing. I think that's the other misnomer. It's like, well, okay, well, I'm not in sales. I'm in finance. I'm in ops. I'm in customer service. I'm in all these other places. Well, I'm not going to be a champion. Wrong.
I mean, it's basically your personal fan club across the board. That's how companies should look at it. Everyone on your team can be and should be your champion, part of your family.
And I think the challenge that a lot of marketers have is that they don't know how to engage the rest of the company. So we're going to give you a couple tips here of how to do that. So one is building relationships across departments, right? Super, super important. Again, if you work in a company, you're not in a silo, you have other people. Don't forget that.
It's a company.
Yeah.
You need each other. It's so much more than just sales and marketing. Yeah, I think just mentioning finance and like everyone, really.
HR, finance, I mean, operations in the field. Like, just don't forget that you're one piece of a team, and like a championship team, everybody plays their part. So it's important to build those relationships across departments. All right, so what's number two? What's the second thing we should do?
Focus on benefits.
Bennies, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like marketing in general. Just what do people get out of it?
I think this is another great example of like, try to explain to somebody in HR that doesn't understand marketing or finance, put it in their language, right? Focus on the benefits of something that's going on, that's a campaign that they can talk about, but put it in their words. Like, obviously people in finance really like numbers, right? So like, make sure you're tailoring the message to them in their voice and not your voice, because they don't give a shit about acronyms and this and that. They don't.
And this could also be a good exercise to see if you actually got your message straight, because if they don't know or understand what the hell you're doing, you probably need to change that regardless and work on it.
Yeah. All right. Number three, which I love, this is one of my favorite things, is really show, don't tell, right? So show, don't tell. Maybe try to, let's say it's a software that's coming out or some app or something, like, show the people how to do it. A lot of times the products that companies offer, especially in the B2B space, the people that are actually in the companies have no idea how they work. So as an example, like, let's say, even routers and switches or head ends for TV, like, go show people the guts, like what's actually happening, and make it real for them, that it's not something just in the ether, especially in technology.
It's so much more memorable too.
Yeah.
It sticks with people.
For sure. All right. Well, number four, what's that?
Don't discount your peers. Kind of like goes hand in hand with what you just said, like with the cross department. Like, don't think that just because like you have executives, like the higher ups, are any better advocates for your brand, because that's just straight up false.
Yeah, and honestly, half the time they're worse, because they don't actually understand, nor do they have the time to get into it, versus your volume of people across the company at a lower level is probably more, right? I mean, there's only so many executives in a company. So
Mhm.
don't discount the rest of the team.
It's
Lean
probably
in
harder to get in front of the execs too. Like, they don't have freaking time.
for sure. All right.
Really.
Number 5, pulling people in early.
Yeah. I mean, this should be part of your, I mean, I don't want to say onboarding process, but something early on should be part of this. How you, maybe you shouldn't just like say like, I want you to be my part of my fan club. That should not be how
Yeah.
you do this. But you should think about this recruitment, like how to get people engaged very early on.
I think this is honestly a lesson for all marketing, right? So, I mean, most people don't go to the end and then like, oh, what do you think? Like if you got 90% there and you ask their feedback, well, it's kind of too late, right? So the same concept applies for this, right? And when you're trying to build champions, get them involved in the beginning. You may actually learn something new and they give you a perspective you didn't know about. So yeah. All right. Last but not least,
Deliver. Earn your trust.
Yeah. I think this is, I mean, at the end of the day, like you say what you mean what you say kind of saying like that. You have to deliver. And if you talk a bunch of bluster, which sometimes marketing people do and sometimes sales people do, and you spend too much BS and you don't actually deliver, your champions will fall away very quickly and you will lose you will lose their advocacy.
And one thing that comes to mind when we're talking about this is a lot of companies try to get your champions, especially on social media, like share a post, engage with that. I've worked with companies in the past that would send out like company-wide updates on, we just posted on LinkedIn, now go like, go comment, go do this. I mean, I don't want to do this by you giving me an order. Like this should be something that if they're aligned, if your content aligned with your core values and your team is aligned with that, they will automatically engage without you telling them to do that.
Yeah, and if everybody's aligned to the purpose of the company, then they want to do that, right? Because it benefits them too. It's not just, hey, I want the product to be there. So there's that old saying, which I remember this when I first started out in marketing. They said, good marketing can make a bad product fail fast. Saying, right? Which is true, right? So like if you can't deliver, like if you have too much of this bluster and you do too well, but you're not able to really deliver on it, then that to me is the worst thing that can happen, because then you have to rebuild it all. You got to rebuild that trust and go through all this process again. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, so that is how to build champions internal champions, I should say, within your team. So all right, second topic.
YouTube videos.
People.
People. I mean, this research that we looked at was
no shocker.
Was not shocking to me at all.
Yeah.
It is straightforward that your visuals is not the important things when you make videos.
I think the other piece is that, like, and again, self-explanatory, I think in the days of TikTok and YouTube, but like video is important, right? So, I mean, I guess it should go without saying, but like, if you're not doing video, you are missing the boat in the B2B marketing space. So, but then when you actually do video, what do you need to be looking for, right? Is it meaningful content? Is it engaging? Is it emotionally relatable? Is it relevant to me, right? Those are all the findings, some of the content that people are those are the attributes people are looking for. And when I think about those attributes from this report, which we pop up that chart there.
Yeah, I did have one.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I think this tells you that the niche video and talking to your audience very specifically is so important.
Yeah. So, I mean, my key takeaway here too is that people need to remember, like, success on YouTube or any video platform is not about high production value. It's not. It's really about the storytelling that grabs attention. And yet TikTok is such a great example of this. Like, they're young kids with millions of followers and millions of views, and engagement is just through the roof. And they're probably using the freaking iPhone.
For sure. Yeah. Not everybody has to be Mr. Big, like, and have, these massive production studios and do all that. Like, that's not reasonable in the B2B space, especially B2B marketing budget space. Like, it's just not reasonable. So think about think about the quality and thinking about resonating. The other key takeaway I thought was super interesting around this report from YouTube was that people are more susceptible to ads that watch video.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, which I mean, I guess intuitively makes sense, but I mean, it again points to, well, hey, here's a great place to market. And are B2B people, are they putting ads on YouTube enough? Is it a lost, are they too focused on the LinkedIns of the world, or even, some Facebook groups, things like that, where we could be leveraging more YouTube in the right place?
I mean, I think this is a gold mine for B2B. And as always, they're a lot behind B2C, but I think YouTube is a gold mine for advertising. Because if you think about it, we're all humans. We do things outside of LinkedIn and outside of business. I spend a lot of time on YouTube that is not at all related to work, zero. So, and am I a target? 100%, 100%. But I don't see I can't remember one ad that really targeted me business-wise on LinkedIn. So It's definitely a huge opportunity for companies to go in there.
All right, so that, if you haven't, check it out, click on the link in the newsletter. So this is a great new report from YouTube, but I think the key takeaway again, video is key. How you do it, focus on the things that are relevant, interesting to your audience.
And storytelling, make it meaningful, be human. Yes. Okay. I did get the meme in there too.
Yeah. This is actually perfect given the conversation about video. The running joke is that, we're trying to target everybody, even the ape on life support there.
I'm laughing so much because this is so spot on. I mean, I did not write this newsletter issue, but this meme is so spot on to a post that I wrote for LinkedIn that's coming very soon. And I'm just laughing because it's way too much of this.
Yeah, not everybody is your target. You don't want everybody to be your target.
I mean, there's a golden rule. If you try to target everyone, you target
no one.
Zero. No one.
All right. So that's the rundown.
That's the rundown for Marketing Qualified.
1 week to Halloween.
Oh my gosh. Should we do an earlier episode next week so we can
might need
dress
to do
up, or we're dressing up on Friday?
A spooky episode. I don't know. Or maybe we'll do maybe we'll just do an ad hoc Halloween rundown. We'll see what happens, people. You gotta tune in to see. You gotta tune in to see.
Tune in to see. And before then, make sure that you subscribe, marketingqualified.co, and drop a pretty cool issue from Partner Science today. Close to my heart, from the Swede and the IKEA effect. You should check it out, partnerscience.tech.
And we also obviously have our other newsletter, which is really focused on the channel, which is Channel Bites. So if you go to channelbites.com, which is our site, you can also subscribe to that newsletter. So we are pumping out content, people. We are trying to give back.
And if you haven't noticed, we're a huge advocate for newsletters.
Yeah. So check them out, give back, and again, sharing is caring. So help out your fellow marketers today.
Sounds good.
All right. Have a great weekend. See you, everybody.